Hi, my name is Misty Dominguez. I'm a registered nurse, and I work as the Clinical Director of Case Management at Kern Medical Center. My role at the hospital is to ensure that every patient we encounter has the right care at the right time and in the right setting. We also want to ensure that everyone discharged from the hospital has a well-coordinated discharge plan. My interest in promoting policy change, and in particular policy change as it relates to end-of-life management, peaked after I came in contact with a man that was requesting physician-assisted suicide. He had stage 4 cancer and recently had developed a metastasis to his brain, and that lesion was causing constant pain, vertigo, headaches, a loss of balance, and it was resulting in quite a few falls. He had lost his ability to drive, and he knew his condition was declining. He did not want to continue his life in what he felt was poor quality, and he was looking to take advantage of the new End-of-Life Option Act recently enacted in California. Unfortunately, at that time, our hospital had yet to take a position on this act, and we were not in a position to assist him. We did research but found no providers in our area willing to provide the requested care to this gentleman. He ultimately discharged home with hospice care, and we later learned that he committed suicide by shooting himself in the head. We failed this man. We had state legislation that protected his right to die, but no methodology in place to allow him access to the services he desired. Today, we have only 5 states that have legislation that protects one's right to die with physician assistance. This means that over 270 million other Americans out there don't have those same rights extended to them. Of the states that do allow physician-assisted death, all have an opt-out clause that allows medical professionals and medical institutions to not participate. This makes it almost impossible for those consumers out there that are seeking physician-assisted suicide services to access it. According to the Center for Disease Control, we have approximately 2.6 million deaths in this country per year. In Oregon, the Death with Dignity summary noted that about 1 out of every 500 deaths use the physician-assisted suicide option. If we extend the ratios from both of those studies to encompass the entire American population, we have a significant need to extend physician-assisted suicide legislation to all Americans. Oregon also reported that physician-assisted suicide requests have grown there by 25% in the last 2 years. I'm here today to ask for your support in adopting federal policy that would extend physician-assisted suicide as an option to all Americans that suffer with terminal diseases and conditions, and also would add an additional mandatory registry that would capture and make public all medical providers and institutions that are willing to service patients desiring this care. Federal physician-assisted suicide legislation is desired because if we make no change and we leave physician-assisted death at states' discretion, we have a significant American population that doesn't have access to this care. Additionally, if we do desire to adopt a national registry of providers willing to provide PAS services, those in need would easily be able to identify providers willing to provide the care desired. Adopting physician-assisted death is likely going to result in some cost savings related to end-of-life care. Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services report that we spend about $10,000 per year per person in this country. In the last year of life, that spending per person goes up by 30%. End-of-life care is expensive, but those that are suffering at the end of life also require care. Providing that care typically comes from family members. Family members stop working, stop contributing to the economy, leave their jobs in order to provide the care to their loved ones. We may experience some cost savings as a result of adopting physician-assisted suicide legislation, but that's not the important reason to do it. The real important reason to adopt physician-assisted suicide legislation is that it protects a person's autonomy and their right to self-determination. If we adopt federal legislation, all Americans with sound mind suffering from a terminal ailment, regardless of their state of residency, will be extended the same access to death with dignity and will be easily able to locate a provider to care for them as desired. I ask you today to support the adoption of federal legislation that would extend all Americans the access rights to physician-assisted death services. Thank you for your time.